I hope you'll subscribe because I'm going to prepare you in every single video for what is to come, how to handle it, how to transition and transform into something so amazing that's happening right now. You won't know that unless you participate in it. Why? We have endless dimensions, frequencies, and unless you're in it, your reality will not participate in that. I would like to introduce you to that, and if you choose to go there, I'm going to tell you right now how you can. It's pretty simple. However, humans don't seem to be mastering it so much. Are you ready to go into full transformation? You just have to do this one thing. Let's go there. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears, live an amazing life. Did you hear what I said? Break through fears. What causes the anxiety, the worry, the depression, all these things that may be coming and going, maybe they stay with you every day? It's fear. It's fear. Now that's not the one thing that you have to conquer. Because if you do the one thing I tell you that could change everything, you won't have any fear. Fear creates anxiety because you are telling yourself a story that things aren't okay and they won't be okay. One or the other, probably both. So we're going into 2022 and we've been through a lot, but we haven't been through everything. There is much more to come. We are not in a state of flow, of peace, of joy, of sharing, of community. We're not in any of that. Now that is happening, but I wouldn't say it's the general collective. However, what you think creates, we're creating now. So I'm going to share something with you, and this is going to be the critical key to everything that happens from this day forward for you. It's critical to everyone. Hands down, everybody's included in this. I've been doing videos on channeled messages that just come to me that I share with you. And I did see something about an organization of light beings, or people, mostly people, some are not, who oversee things here and do assist once in a while, but are waiting for us to be responsible citizens so that they can step in and help us. Because here's the critical key. We must now stop looking to the prophets, all of the amazing people and beings that have come here and shared information. Stop looking to or blaming the organizations and groups. They'll save me. They're the enemy. Done. We're done. We have way too much information. You're way too smart. You're way too spiritually advanced to go into that space. We have now shifted into the community. In other words, the general population of the planet is now 100% responsible. The teachers, the guides, you will save me if I take this drug or do this mantra, is done. We're advanced enough now through our DNA, our teachings, our awakening to know that we are 100% powerful beings of equal power because we all come from one source and are that source. There's no separation between any creation. If you, from this day forward, know this and treat absolutely everything with unconditional love, no matter what. I'm not telling you to go hug some murderer. I'm telling you that when you recognize that that is a part of you, an expression of one energy field, how would you want that to transform? How would you want to be treated? From all pain that we see out there is a story. There's a story that didn't just happen because we're all born perfect. You know, babies see things. Babies have, spirits come and visit and angels and all that. So why? Because they're still connected to that world that you're connected to. But then we become more dense. And so the veils come up. The veils are our own self-created blinders that we put on because we're told things, and once we believe, we create that reality. So therefore, anything that we don't see that appears as scary, Aliens are bad. Everything. Why? We've been programmed and told that because it keeps us from our power. Because if you believe all that stuff out there is scary, I'm not going to go there. You now go into that density of a disempowered human being that doesn't have access to it, or if you do, it's evil. That's gone. It's gone. We don't believe that anymore. We know it's not true. We know that we can do anything here as human beings. We can raise our frequency to the point where we could actually levitate, walk through walls, do all that stuff. Walk on water. That's been demonstrated before, right? Why aren't we doing it? We can't even get along with one another. Everything has to change. Everything that happens on this planet is due to one thing. Our, let's just say, choice to be separate from one another. Our choice to be separate from one another. And what is that? That's ego. Ego is a lower frequency, and that is not unconditional love. When we go to unconditional love, we will see the purpose in everything. We don't have to approve. I want to make sure that you understand this. It's not saying, oh, that's okay, bless you, you're a beautiful, beautiful light being, clunk, you know. I love you, clunk, clunk. You know, it just doesn't work that way here because there's still in a density. So we're not here to change anybody. We're here to get this straight because one person is part of the collective, and one and one and one and one. It changes the whole frequency of the planet. The Schumann resonance, that is the electromagnetic field being monitored by NASA, showing us that it has gone up significantly. We know that we're making a difference. So the more of us that do that and go into unconditional love, no more judgment, no pointing fingers. We must go into understanding that everything has a purpose, and those dense beings are our greatest teachers. So who's the unascended one? Who's the unawakened one? The person that's blaming somebody else, still on that level. I'm going to battle this for good. I'm going to battle this for my cause. Battle is battle. Any battle is negative. All of it. That doesn't exist in the new earth. If you do anything, ask yourself every moment, would that belong in the new earth? Would totally enlightened beings want a negative thought or a negative action or separation or any kind of arguing or conflict in the new earth? No. You can't go there. You can't go. So you have to make up your mind. And it's addictive. I know some people, they love it. They love to blame everybody. Everybody's a problem, and they're going to let them know it. And so that's fine. If that's the world you want to live in, you're going to create that reality. You just have to do this one thing. And that is understand that you don't have to understand everything, but that you have to come from a place of unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't judge. It doesn't separate. It celebrates. It sees the beauty in everything, and it knows that everything that struggles, that goes into a space of darkness, even the most powerful dark ones, do you think that they're coming from a place of feeling really good? If they're doing the things that they're doing, it doesn't feel good. And they continue to go that because they live in a dense material world that they believe the more they try and get and, whatever it is they need, is going to fuel that unhappiness. And believe me, they're deeply, deeply unhappy. They don't even know what it feels like to go into unconditional love. And that won't change if we go into conflict with them and continue to tell them they're wrong. Because the ego, the low frequency, dense, expressions of the one are in that space that believes that the ego can manipulate and change everything. And it has some effects, obviously, but not if we don't allow it. Remove your focus from this. Remove your focus. We are creators now. Create from unconditional love. Create from oneness, no separation. You don't create just for you and your little group because you believe it, and we want this and we want that for everyone. Nobody asked me, right? This is why individual expressionism and communities work so well, because we can have groups that are creative, or groups that are scientific, or groups over here that want to do certain things. And so they're accepted in their own groups without battling the other groups. But when you put them together and say, everybody needs to do this, think this way, vote this way, be whatever, they don't even need governments. They don't need anything, because they're so giving and loving that there's nothing but abundance. No money is needed in that beautiful space. Why would there be an exchange? You know what? It's just giving. And then we know that we're always, so if everybody's giving, then you're always receiving. And so it's just this constant abundance. People come to my parties. Oh my gosh, it's just giving, giving, giving. Everybody's helping, giving, gifts, bringing food, everything. It's amazing. We can't give enough, and we love it. Beautiful, loving, giving people that truly care. No matter, not just there when when it's good for them, but they're there because they just love you and they don't expect anything from it. Can you live that life? It starts with you. Now, so many comments I've seen are still in that space. Yeah, but there's a whole group of people that are, what? Of people? We're not people. Everybody's a light being. So they're doing something. What? Big whoop. Shut your pie hole, because I'm going to tell you what, that light being is equal to you. Your judgment of them takes you down into that lower frequency. I keep saying this. If you do not function on this level in 2022, you're going to see some bad repercussions from it. Why? Because cause and effect is accelerated. So every thought has an accelerated response. Nothing goes unnoticed, not even your thoughts. Your thoughts are just as powerful as if you did an action. It is. Why? It's in the collective. The collective doesn't know. The collective is the all-intelligence that flows through everything. That's why when I say a channel just means I'm a vehicle for information that everybody has access to. That's all. I'm not going into some weird trance or anything. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm very coherent and aware of what I'm getting, and controlling that, right, in a way that just says, you know what, I'm going to function on a high frequency and I have nothing to fear. You never expire. You never expire. What is there to be afraid of? Yeah, sometimes we can be uncomfortable and we go through stuff. We're learning. I'm going to learn. I'm going to master this. What's happening here in my life that I need to work through because I have a pattern of negativity or bad relationships or, struggling financially. These are things that I can totally change because I have that power. What did I learn from this? What do I need to change? Do I not think highly of myself? Because you are the one source of everything. And so therefore it is not just this and here and here and here. It's everybody across the board. As individual expressions, we all have individual talents that gives us diversity. We look different. We have different skin colors, different cultures, different ages, different everything. We should be celebrating that. Yet somehow we just think everybody's supposed to be like that's the ego talking. No more negative stuff, media. No more negative shows. You should not be watching anything where it's okay to watch murders because there's some hero. That's conditioning. That's programming. We're going into it. So now it's game time, my friend. It's game time. If you function every day on the highest possible level, and if you have the negative thoughts, you have to let them float by and recognize them and ask for assistance. Please help me to find the best, highest way to see this. Or not even have to see anything or judge. Just observe. It is what it is. I don't understand why certain people act a certain way. I know they're exploring darkness. Okay. That's still part of the one. And we are here to take this planet out of it. And so now there are no more groups going to save us, prophets going to save us. They can only be there for us when we earn it. And now it's time to earn. Are we going to earn it? That means we have to prove that we are responsible with technology that can save our planet, with new inventions, with new creations that are things way beyond our imagination, will not be given to us because if we're still in separation, we will misuse it. People will use it for their own groups and exclude others because they think that we're doing it for good, and that's not how we're going to receive that information. that technology exists. It has forever. Free energy, all of it. And you know what? There are people who are going to fight it. That's okay. That's okay. That's not where my focus is. It's going to play out. It's going to be a little uncomfortable in some ways. Be okay with letting go of things and know that what's going to come in and replace it is going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be amazing. So can you step out of that fear by going into unconditional love? And that, again, doesn't mean approval and, oh, I feel love. And if you're thinking, I don't feel love, go into neutral. Don't make a judgment either way and just say, I don't understand this. I don't have to understand it, but I'm not going to judge it. I know there's some other story there and a history that I will never understand as a human being, and I'll be darned if I will be judging somebody else, lest ye be judged, right? Ooh, don't be looking at me, because we've all been there. It's part of being human. That's, if you haven't gone through that, you haven't learned, you haven't evolved. Get ready for a huge evolution of this planet, a huge one. You will experience it if you go into that dimension. And people are functioning in the fifth, and they're thinking that way, and they see things differently, and you may not understand some of the craziness that goes on, but you just got to ride it out because you came here to raise the frequency of the planet, and that's your job, and that's all you need to focus on, and amazing, beautiful things will come to you. Share, love, encourage, make an effort. I saw a big piece of plastic blowing down the beach. I was going, oh, shoot. I had to walk a half mile down to get it and pick it up. And I thought, and somebody else isn't going to do it. I actually was thinking, well, I know the maintenance guys will pick that up. Not if it floats out in the ocean and goes underwater with my beautiful little dolphins out there. I have to do it. And I walked all the way out there, picked it up, and I said, if I had walked by and counted on somebody else to do it, I couldn't have slept tonight. It's that simple. And that huge. Every little thing counts. Is there somebody you could have helped and you walked past and thought, nah? Is there a little thing that you could have done, made some effort for somebody who is lonely or an elderly person? Put yourself out a little bit, a little uncomfortable. The return is so huge. And you will have changed their life. And when you go into your review of this life, that little thing's going to be magnificently huge. And you'll see the joy and the difference you made just for that one thing. Like I said, your one plastic cup is millions of cups out there in the ocean. And we're trying to clean this up. You make a huge difference. You're going into something huge right now. And it all depends on the huge community out there. The billions of people now have to take responsibility and take charge of their own frequency, their own actions. No more looking out here. No more they are, they are, they are. We all came here purposefully together. No accidents. The source doesn't make mistakes. It just is. So I hope you will subscribe and share my messages. I hope if you want to start an online business and start doing things that are amazing for the planet, I have e-courses. This is a free video series about creating small businesses. They are ruling smaller communities. Their supply chain is plentiful. It's when you try to get too big and make everybody, the same old robots that it just doesn't work anymore. So go down into the description. So those of you are like, it's not down. Yes, in the description is Manifest Anything, a free video series. You get a free mobile app when you do that. And it reminds you 5 times a day, what am I manifesting? Because that thought's manifesting. Did I just have a nasty thought? Did I just blame somebody? Do I separate myself politically or religiously or culturally in any way? That's judgment, low frequency. Don't go there. I'll tell you what, you could live in a beautiful, beautiful, the love doesn't describe it. Love doesn't describe what you will experience. And you will never see a person negatively again. And you will live a life of peace. Because all of a sudden you just see how beautiful this planet is. How amazingly beautiful this planet is. And that everything created is beautiful too. And that it's just the choices we're making now. And we can change all that. We can change all that. Will you join me? I know you're capable of it. You're ready for this. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my beautiful light being friend. Namaste.